The time has come. Execute Order 66.
Oh, here's a much younger picture of Christine McCarthy from not that long ago, 2016, Orange County Register, when she took over as CFO of the Walt Disney Company. The CFO that she replaced abruptly resigned, and God knows why. One could expect Iger's creative financial ideas probably did not jibe with the man, but I want to talk a little bit about this because it's important. Now, she was the one that called the meeting to see Chapek get fired. And now she's stepping down abruptly. Yesterday, we were told it's health reasons. There's a rumor out there that her husband was having some issues. But today, the Wall Street Journal reports that it was clashes within the C-suite over the expanse of the cuts at Disney, which means either she disagreed with how deep they went or wanted them to go deeper. And she is going to stay on as an advisor while they look for a more permanent CFO. But again, as Kamran posited, health issues can be a covering in Hollywood or in big business for the real reason. And the real reason could be something going on with the accountants discovering how bad the financial hole is for Disney, realizing she was the one that allowed it to happen, and Iger basically saying it's time to go. Maybe it is just the fact that the cuts were too deep for her or were not deep enough for her. And we'll just have to keep discussing this.
The fleet has moved out to flight speed and we're preparing to...
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral. Apology accepted, Captain Nita.
It doesn't surprise me that if Iger did, I'm going to say embezzle, $3 billion or whatever, and siphon it off to FTX, who promptly lost it. And actually yesterday, it was also reported that Sam Bankman-Fried, over 20 of the charges against him were dropped. Okay, and then this happens. So, is timing coincidental? Maybe, I don't know. But if she allowed him to do that, I'm talking about Iger, then the idea that she would be called out, maybe, or would just have to leave, makes perfect sense. The stated reason of her leaving is that she was clashing with other executives over the depth of Disney's cuts. And I'm going to assume, because she's a California girl, that she's woke, so she might have thought the cuts were too deep. A lot of these people in finance, if they buy into the woke stuff, aren't concerned with earning money. Okay, so let's just say she thought they were too deep. Alan Bergman and others, and the accountants were like, they're not deep enough. We have to get more. We have to cut more. We don't know what the situation is, but the fact of the matter is, health issues are probably not why she left. And I feel comfortable saying that because the Wall Street Journal, which is a respected financial newspaper, basically said she clashed with the other executives over the scope of the cuts that Disney made. And I think it's very indicative of what Iger is prepared to do to save his own legacy and to save what he can of Disney. Okay, so maybe she didn't, again, agree with the cuts that they made. I mean, there's no way we can really tell what's going on, but, you know, and of course, again, the health issue was her husband's, which, you know, again, when you first hear these things, take it with a grain of salt, okay? This was, you know, reported yesterday in Deadline and everywhere else, so a YouTuber should feel comfortable reporting this. It's not a rumor. It's not Kathleen Kennedy has breast cancer, okay? Or George Lucas is sick and he's dying. Okay, where did you hear that? From my imaginary Lucasfilm contact. Okay, whatever. There's big stuff going on, not just at Lucasfilm, but at Disney. And honestly, I think with Steven Spielberg's basically takeover of the Indy 5 stage before the movie started and completely ignoring Kathleen Kennedy, that I think Lucasfilm is probably headed for a change. And to be honest, I don't necessarily think it's a sale in the way people think it is. You know, it just, we have to watch it closely. But for Iger to let McCarthy go like this is indicative of how fast and how blunt he is with the sword of Order 66, okay? And he might just be cutting chafe of people who know where all the bodies are buried too. And that might be it too. None of the stated reasons could be why, okay? The fact that she's staying on to help look for somebody says it might have been fierce and it might have been tough, but it wasn't to the point where we'll never hear from her again, like we haven't heard from Bob Chapek, okay? So we have to watch this and see where it goes, see who ends up being the CFO. I predict it's going to be a man this time, and not a woke man, okay? And there's something not right about the story, and we just have to keep our eyes open. Again, if this is part of Order 66, you know, she was the one that called down the thunder on Bob Chapek, and now she's gone. This is, frankly, in some ways, karma coming back to bite her. You know, blowback, okay? And it does happen sometimes. This is Steph, signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy. صل على النبي يا مهون صل على